Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome, man. Welcome to Beyond Classic Rock. Today, we've got a complimentary quad coming your way, man, and it's featuring the music of a band called the High Violets. We're going to start with a song called Sun Baby, followed by 44 Down, followed by The Believer, and finally, Ease On. So, man, before I pop this off, I just want to give a shout out and a thanks very much to Robert Vincent. And Robert has a note. He says, Hi Wayne, I do not listen to the radio. I find new music from as many varied sources as the varied kinds of music I love. They call this category dream pop. I find it enjoyable on many levels. The underpinning of the bottom is crucial for me because it drives the sound along with the guitars, but I love the ethereal qualities in the vocals, keyboards, and the various not so typical sounds and instruments. There is also the underpinning sexiness. You often find this class of music being played in the ending credits of movies, which is where I first discovered it. I find it relaxing, transporting, and even great to listen to while I work out or walk. It definitely has a groove. To me, it shares some kind of connection of some sort with old classic progressive rock and maybe even late 60s psychedelic at times. I hope you enjoy. Thanks. Right on. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it, man. Nice testimony of the music. And I appreciate the fact that you took the time to write a personal testimony of sorts, because with this particular band and the song information, there isn't a lot of it. And what I like to do is that when there isn't a lot of song detail, song information, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to group the songs up back to back. So we'll listen to all the songs one after the other, right? And then we'll do what I found here on Wikipedia being the bio information for the band. And so there isn't a lot of that. There's certainly no album or song details, right? I guess this might be considered a little bit on the remote side, maybe in the point of Wikipedia. So it's great that you actually have a little bit of something for me in the form of a personal testimony. At the end of this, I'm going to address that a little bit further because this is the perfect example, okay? So, but for now, let us do this, man. Let's hit up all four of the songs, and then we'll come back and do a review. Okay. All right, the High Violets, starting with Sun Baby. Let's get it. Oh, and it's a video. the setting that they used there. Nice backdrop, sunshine, ocean, sand. Good sound, good signature sound, good bass line, rhythm section is solid, really good sound. Guitar driven. Another video. I like the duality of their very, very soft vocal delivery, but it's accompanied by really good, solid bass line instrumentals. And again, guitar driven. It's a really, really good synergy they got going on with their sound. Good tune, man. I like, again, that duality of her light touching vocals and then the instrumentals. It's really solid and kind of like welding you to that road, you know? It's really, really good duality there. I wouldn't be in it so much if they didn't have that combination. Doesn't it look like it's something out of a M. Night Shyamalan's movie? Good video. Good song, good sound. All right. So that's the high violets. What do you call the vocal signature when it's kind of like a light touch? You know, it's almost like a whispering. Well, I'm sure that there's a name for it, coined phrase for it. I'm not sure what it is myself, but that's quite interesting. A delivery like that, I wouldn't buy it if it wasn't accompanied well by great instrumentation. And like I said, these guys have a really, really good signature sound overall with the bass line, really good rhythm section, and it's guitar driven. And so with that format, with those vocals, oh yeah, you can go really far with it. You can do a lot with that. That combination definitely sells it for me. Yeah, good act. Really, really good sound, man. And as I discussed earlier at the top of this reaction, there's not a lot of information given about, especially the song details. A little bit about the band, but not a lot of information given about the actual song details. So we'll read a little bit of the band bio, and then in regards to the lack of song information, I got something to say about that. So for now, let us check out the High Violets. The High Violets are an American dream pop band from Portland, Oregon. The High Violets were formed in late '98 after the breakup of Portland band The Bella Low by former members Clint Sargent, Luke Straheda, and Violet Bianca Grace. This lineup was short-lived, however, as Grace left after a few gigs. Sargent and Straheda then joined forces with Alan Davies of Ecoplex. Soon after, Sargent recruited Caitlin Nee Donovan to complete the lineup. After self-releasing an EP entitled Dream Away, they signed to Irish label Reverb Records and released 44 Down in 2002. 4 years later, they followed up with the critically acclaimed To Where You Are, also on Reverb. The group also performed at SXSW in 2006. In 2007, they performed at NXNE and released a remix album, Satellite Remixes, which featured Ulrich Schnaz and Carmen Rizzo, among others. Although the band is currently on hiatus from touring and live performances, they've been active in the studio. Their fifth full-length album, Heroes and Halos, released April 1st, 2016, was listed on PopMatter's 10 Best Shoegaze and Dream Pop Albums lists, 2016. Okay, so that is the bio information given for the High Violets. And as I said before, there's no song or album details or information given. And when I say that, let me now address what I want to talk about. And Robert, you are a really, really good example to kind of stress my point here. There are times when I get recommendations for reactions. A lot of times I find, especially over the last little while, it hasn't been accompanied with a lot of details in regards to my reading and my research portion, right? So someone will send me a recommendation for a reaction. That's just one part of my format, as you know. If you've watched me for a decent amount of time, and many of you have, you know my format. This is my format. My channel and my reaction process was built around Wikipedia. When I first conceived my channel, I said, okay, it's going to be in two parts. It's going to be part one, doing a reaction, a first intake of the song, and then part two, which is just as important, if not more so, is the actual review of the song, a little research and reading. A lot of you know that process already. So when you're sending me reactions, sometimes I'm finding that there really isn't a lot of information about the artist or about the song. So what I'm saying is that if you are thinking of sending me a reaction, please do a little researching yourself. Go to Wikipedia immediately. You can say, okay, yeah, I know Wayne's format. It's going to be on the High Violets. Let me make sure that there is some investigative information for him to take in. So let me check out Wikipedia real quick. Oh yeah, lots of information there. He's good to go, right? Because you know where I'm going to go. I am not going to go all over the place searching and seeking information to do reads on. If it's not within walking distance of Wikipedia, I am not going to go searching and seeking, right? So if you want a decent reaction out of me, a full decent reaction out of me, make sure that there is some substance there for me to read. Because if it's just a matter of just a reaction, you can go and you can get more of a reaction from someone else, because you know me, I'm quite stoic, right? So it isn't just about my reaction and my first impression. It's also about, on the back end, my research and digging in. So if you just want somebody to do a reaction, bob their damn head, that was dope, that was cool, you're going to have to go somewhere else for that, because there are reactors out there who make a really, really great performing point of bobbing their head and reacting. And if that's what you want, I am not your guy. If you want a little bit more in-depth, nuts and bolts, investigative look into the music and appreciation for it, I'm your guy. But you're going to have to provide me with something if this artist is remote. And remote, by definition to me, is if there isn't a lot of information that can be found quickly on a quick search. Wikipedia is my go-to source. Everyone knows that. So if you can't see it on Wikipedia, do this. Source out for me a source of information yourself, and then send me that link or clip it or whatever it is. Give me something that I can read and learn about the artist and the music if it's there. If it isn't there, at the very, very least, give me, just like what Robert did here, give me a little bit of a testimony. Excuse me, because you know the band and the artist more than I do, right? So if it's a remote band, if it's a brand new band, and there isn't going to be a lot of information on the internet about it, especially Wikipedia, at the very, very least, give me an accounting on your own, right? Write a short paragraph saying this is what this band means to me, this is the history, this is when I first heard them, saw them, this is what I think. At least something of value and substance beyond just me sitting here doing a reaction take, because the entertainment value is not there coming from me where it comes to reactions. You know that already. The substance from Wayne is what I do after that, right? So if you want a decent reaction review, make sure that you do your part. You owe me, and you also owe my viewers that. My viewers have expected a certain standard and a certain protocol from me. And if you're just sending me something remote with nothing that I can look into afterwards, you're doing yourself a disservice, me, and also my viewers. So in the future, and I'm not just talking to Robert here. Robert, you did good with giving me a little bit of an accounting, but I'm bringing it into your awareness just for down the road. Anyone who sends me information, especially for an artist that's remote and it is not documented well on Wikipedia or whatever the case is, make sure that you provide either some other source that I can look into and read, or a personal accounting yourself, okay? And again, if you don't provide this information, I'm not going to go looking for it. And the result is this: you're not going to get much of a reaction and a review out of me. It's going to be a 10-20 minute thing and it's done, right? It's not going to be fleshed out, and you're going to feel kind of like half complete, right? So make sure that you provide me with something. Do you get my point, right? It's very, very important, because I've been having this happen a little bit as of late, especially from patrons. And some patrons who've been with me for a while and know my format. So that I definitely have to address. And it seems that I'm going to have to say this often, just as a reminder. You know, I mean, some patrons are new, they come in and they don't really get it. So I'm going to have to repeat this a few times so that they, yeah, okay, I see what he's trying to do. I get why, and no problem with that, right? And then there are some who just don't care. Just do the damn reaction. People like you, especially if you're a patron, I'm not going to do the reaction, because you're wasting my time. You're wasting the time of my viewers, right? I have a standard to maintain. If you just want a reaction, go somewhere else. I'm not your guy. I react, but more importantly, I review. And you're helping me with that. If you don't help me with that, you won't get a reaction out of me. And I'm putting my foot down about this, because this is a pattern that's been repeating itself. I see it more so on the side of subscribers, but I'm seeing it more now coming from patrons, and that's not going to happen. So I'm going to throw it back at you if that happens. And I've done this a few times, and of course, you know, they end up getting pissed off and butthurt and they leave. I don't care. Give me something of substance, because my channel is held at a certain standard and I want to maintain that. In order to maintain that, you got to do your part and you got to help me out. I hope I've made myself clear. All right. So with that said, back to Robert. Thank you very much for your little testimony at the end of this. It saved this reaction. Without that, it wouldn't have had as much value as it had. We could have had more if there was more information provided about this artist and their music, but maybe there just isn't, right? So I'm just going to go with that. But everybody knows going forward, especially patrons, and especially, well, I wouldn't say especially new patrons, because like I said, some patrons who have been with me for a while, they've been starting to do this. It's getting slack, it's getting lax. I'm not having that, right? So make sure that you provide me something decent if you want a decent reaction review out of me. That's all I'm saying. All right. So Robert, thank you. This was a really, really nice introduction to these guys. I wish there was more information, song details, album information, breakdown, how it started, how it began, all of those little things that I like to get into, but it's not always the case, and it's all good, man. So let me just see what I got coming up. Yeah, got reactions I gotta hit up real quick, man. Charles, Marco, Caden, John, Jeffrey, got reactions coming up for you guys this week. And on this platform, I'm gonna be looking at focusing a little bit more probably on the alternative, the progressive, that sort of thing in the next little while. I hit up some Latin grooves previously. I hit up some soul jams, and it seems like that's kind of like the pattern of where I'm going. It kind of shifts now and again. So that's what you can expect in the next little while. You're going to see a grouping of reactions like that, and it always shifts back. And then after that, based on recommendations, I see a shift towards more like a folk rock kind of thing. So you're going to see these shifts and these patterns on this platform, which is really, really nice. I like the variety. All right, so that is my reaction to this band. Robert, thanks very much for providing your testimony and providing the links and the recommendations. Sorry that there wasn't a little bit more information that we could glean from it, but it is what it is, and that's how it goes sometimes. Anyways, you guys have yourselves a good one. I'm a little parched, so I gotta go and get some water into me. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.